Dating after a divorce or a breakup, 10 questions to ask yourself. Welcome everyone. This video is to meet you where you are today. Whether you are single and just getting back into the dating scene, or maybe you are currently dating and not having any luck. Maybe you're coming off from a divorce, or you've been divorced for a long time, or you're coming off of a bad breakup. Wherever you are today, if you are looking to get back into dating, today's video and these 10 questions are going to help to identify if you are truly ready. Question number 1, am I ready? Am I ready for the time and energy that goes into getting to know someone and going out on dates, or just talking to someone in general? Am I ready? Am I ready to say no to certain things, to say yes to dating, and will that serve me? Number 2, am I comfortable in my own skin? Do I really know who I am? Am I comfortable to be alone with myself? Do I know my internal attributes, and do I know what my weaknesses are? What triggers I have, or what buttons get pushed easily? If you don't know these significant things about yourself, I really encourage you to get to a good place with who you are, because you have to be okay with your own company before you can be okay in the company of someone else. Number 3, do I have any negative energy around the opposite sex? Maybe I've had some experiences in the past that weren't pleasing. Has this left a bad taste in my mouth? So do I already have this negative energy, and therefore I'm going to take that negative energy, perhaps be on the defense, or be looking for flaws or negatives in the other person? Big red flag for you, not them. Something you're going to have to put some awareness around and answer before you really know if you're ready to get back out there. Not fair to you and not fair to anyone else if you're holding on to old wounds and old scars from the past. Typically, we need to work through those in order to move past them so that we can work towards what we ultimately desire, finding a partner. Number 4, do I know what I'm looking for in the prospects I meet? Am I looking for a life partner? Am I just looking for a companion and really nothing more? Am I looking for a spouse? Am I looking for marriage? Am I looking for casual sex? No judgment. You get to make that decision. Although I have some thoughts, and of course would love to ask some other questions if that is what you're looking for. But all that matters is you know what you're looking for out of the prospects. Are you also comfortable enough to share with the prospects what it is that you're looking for and what the ultimate goal is in meeting someone? Number 5, and this is a big one, do I have my negotiables and non-negotiables nailed down? If you don't, it's going to make complete sense that you're not having any luck on the dating scene. You have to know what you're not willing to bend on. If it's important to you that he's never been married, you get to choose that. If it's important to you that he's a Christian, you get to choose that. If it's important to you that he does not drink nor smoke, you get to choose that. It's whatever is important to you, and we'll continue to talk about that as we go through these questions. It's important that you are crystal clear and laser focused on what your negotiables and non-negotiables are. Many people date with deer in the headlights, and it shows. Understand that not all of our non-negotiables and negotiables are we going to have the answers to in the beginning. If it were me, I would have a list of questions that I am hoping to get answers to prior to meeting the person in person. These are questions that I would leverage while we are either connecting on an app or if we exchange numbers and we decide to text or talk on the phone, some questions it's perfectly acceptable to get out on the table early on. If a prospect lives 2 hours away from you, but you know you would never be willing to relocate, it's okay to probe that question early on before meeting the person in person and ask them, so based off of where you live, is this because of family? Is it because of your job? And would you ever be willing to relocate? Because if you know it's a non-negotiable for you, that you would never even consider relocating, if this person told you they would not consider relocating and you're 2 hours apart, no one has the answer for you if that will work for you or not. Only you have that answer, but it is something you are going to want to have out on the table right away and start thinking about. Not something that you want to be bickering and fighting about or having animosity or disagreements down the road when you knew about this within the first 3 messages of texting. And really, I just asked you number 6 because question number 6 is, what negotiables and non-negotiables do I have to have answers to prior to going out on a physical date? Again, these are the things that you will find out when you are corresponding on the dating app, if that's what you're using, or through text message or a phone call. Number 7, do I see myself worthy enough to land the man that I desire? Do I see my own worth and value? Do I question my standards and often think my standards are too high or too low? Well, you get to choose what your standards are. You can have high standards, you can have low standards. Whatever standards you have is what you can expect to meet. Because if you have high standards and you meet someone and their standards are low, well, already there's going to be a disconnect there. If you're willing to stay in that relationship to try to make it work, or because you're so desperate to have a relationship, just understand that you did say yes to those lower standards. You have no one to blame but yourself if you say yes to that. You don't get to point the finger at him because you're the one that said yes to it. Never feel guilt or shame around your standards. If you see yourself as a worthy person and a person of value, you will never apologize for those standards. It's not uncommon when a girlfriend may say to you, when you share some of the things that you're looking for in a prospect, and they'll say, well, your standards are just too high. Typically, when you look at the source saying that, makes complete sense. Think about it. If you've ever had a girlfriend tell you that your standards were too high, or a family member, look at the source. It always makes sense when you hear a comment like that. Clearly, we know where their standards were because it shows up in their life. You can run, but you can't hide. Typically, it will show up in their relationships, and often they're not happy. They often are blaming someone else. Some things that we initially see as an insult is actually a compliment. If someone were to tell me, your standards are just too high. Yes. Yes, for you they would be. But for me, they are just in check with my values. Because I know what my core values are, and I know I'm a high quality, high caliber person, and I have a lot to bring to the table. I know my worth and I know my value. If you have an attitude like that, you're probably ready. If you don't, you may want to consider what work you need to do, what self-work you need to do. Number 8 comes up all the time in coaching. Do I want the relationship so bad that I oversee the actual person? I'm just so desperate to be in a relationship. I'm so tired of being single. I'm so tired of being alone. I want this so bad. I put so much time and energy into this. I deserve this. And all of a sudden your filter and your lens gets really blurry and you're not actually seeing what's right in front of you and whether that person is going to live up to your standards, whether that person is going to be a good match for you. Does that person have the same values that I do? If work ethics is a big thing for you and he doesn't have that, love to know how that's going to work for you. Depends on if that's a negotiable or a non-negotiable. I don't know your negotiables and non-negotiables. I know what mine would be if I were out on the dating scene. Standards are high. I'm only going to meet a man that has a lot of standards. Meet in person, because I'd weed him out before we got to that point. So know what weeding you need to do. Plant seeds. You have to plant seeds, but first you have to pull weeds. You got to pull the weeds, plant those seeds, find out what you need to find out. No shame, no tiptoeing. Confident women have no problem asking the questions that they need answers to. They have no problem asking for what they need. They have no problem telling a prospect, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship. I want a life partner with the potential of maybe remarrying. Does that sound like something that would interest you? I'm not looking to have sex until I know you're that person. Are you okay with that? It doesn't mean that he may not want to have sex, or maybe even you don't want to have sex, but sex too soon just blurs out finding out if this person is the one for you. So I have a lot of thoughts around jumping into bed with someone early on. I know many people who have met their second husband on dating sites and very quickly were in the bedroom. And I can't say that that really served them, because sometimes they find out almost too late what this person is really like. And it's because they got tunnel vision with the sex too soon. You have to make that decision. And again, if that's what you're looking for out of the prospect is, do they still use the word hookup? I don't know. Casual sex, I guess is what I would call it. That's for you to decide, but you may want to get all of this out on the table relatively quick. Confident women would. No shame. Number 9, am I ready to not excuse inexcusable behavior? I will say that again. Am I ready to not excuse inexcusable behavior? Have you excused it in the past? Did you let it go because you would find other areas that he checked off the boxes? And then it happened again and he had his big song and dance, his excuse. Well, I had one too many drinks, or well, I had a weak moment, or well, this, or well, that. Really? Thank you for that information. Only you can decide how long you're going to allow those excuses. Am I ready to not excuse inexcusable behavior? You have to decide. Are you ready to get back out on the dating scene? And number 10, this one's a little bit for fun. Could I order off a menu that I could also prepare with my own ingredients? You have the answer. The last little thing I want to say to you is, when people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. When people show you who they are, believe them. But in order to do so, you have to have all of your answers to the 10 questions that I presented you with today. And they need to be crystal clear. And you need to be laser focused. You're coming to the table with a lot of great attributes, but you're also coming to the table with a lot of weaknesses, as we all do have them. Get crystal clear about the two. And don't feel guilt and shame about your weak areas. Be okay expressing them and sharing them. Be okay asking the other person. I know myself, if I were meeting someone, let's say on an app, let's say I was a middle-aged woman, divorced, ready to get out and meet someone. I would have no problem very, very early on asking the prospect, share with me what your weaknesses are. How they respond to that question is going to be pivotal for me because I am very strong in EQ, emotional intelligence, and most people are not. And that would be an area that I would be looking for. And that's a pretty high standard because most people don't have a very high EQ. Many people have a high IQ, but not many people have a high EQ. I didn't used to, but I did the work. Now I have a high EQ, not that I'm perfect and not that I don't still get triggered or my buttons don't get pushed and my EQ goes down, but typically I catch myself, I coach myself, and I work through it and get back up there where I like to be. What I'm saying is when you ask someone what their weaknesses are, just how they respond to that question alone will tell a lot about someone, because a confident person is okay that they have weaknesses because they know their strengths as well. And I think we learn a lot about people by their weaknesses. If someone said, one of my weaknesses is I have road rage. I get so annoyed by other drivers. Okay, great. Doesn't mean that's a deal breaker for me, but I may want to explore that in joking and being very kind and saying, well, if you have road rage, where else do you have rage in your life? Is there other areas this shows up? I'm just curious. Or I could come back and say, yeah, I hear you. I have it as well. Well, we definitely are a lot alike in that area then. By the way, I do not have road rage. And that would be something that would be an indicator for me that could be a red flag, because often someone who has a lot of road rage, they have a lot of rage in other areas. That's just me. You don't have to look through that lens. When you're confident, you won't care what other people's lenses look like because you're so focused on your lane, your box, and your lens. But asking someone what their weaknesses are is a great question because it gets people talking. And it's okay to say, what are your strengths? But I think we learn more about the weaknesses, believe it or not. But you have to be okay with yours. And wouldn't you want him to know early on? I don't know. It's all for you to decide, and I'm just here to help you navigate this journey. And if you need additional help, I'm here for you, and other coaches of Hensel Coaching and Consulting are. Coach Ashley and Coach Lena Marie are getting ready to start their 6-week program in 2 more days, this Wednesday, February 10th. This is the winter session of the Single Girls Kit, SGK, as all of you know. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who attended last weekend's with SGK. That was free to everyone on Zoom. Many of you spent the weekend with Ashley and Lena Marie. Ashley and Lena Marie will be happy to help you navigate the process of dating. They will help you to identify what your own red flags are with yourself so that you can get over those hurdles that are keeping you stuck and holding you back from finding the person you desire. They're going to help you build your own confidence, help you to get laser focused on what you desire. All of the questions I presented you with today are all going to be topics throughout the 6-week program so that you can walk away after 6 weeks with so much confidence, so much determination in knowing who you are that you would never dream of saying yes to someone who doesn't say yes to you and doesn't serve you. That's the beauty about this program. All of the information will be in the description box below. I hope you take advantage of this offer and for navigating this dating process. It does not have to be difficult. It does not have to be challenging. If you have drama, is it the other people? Is it the prospects? Or is it you? Most often when I hear the word drama from a client, we find out in coaching that they're the drama. It's a breakthrough moment when you find out why that is. But you have to break through that to be able to find the person you desire. All right. Thank you. Thank you for watching today's video. Another big topic, just like last Friday when I talked about taking charge of your life. How powerful. Drive your bus, right? Who's in the driver's seat of your life? I don't know. You tell me. But I know who has the power to be in that driver's seat. I know who that is. I believe in you. You have to believe in yourself. Check that video out. Be linked down below. Put it up here if you want to click on it and watch it after today's video. Take advantage of the Single Girls Kit. If it sounds like something that's pulling you, if you're on the fence, what are you waiting for? Invest in yourself. All right, all the information. Description box below. Also, videos pertaining to this topic. How to meet a high caliber and high quality man and red flags to watch out for. Watch that video. Watch that video. Dating tips for the guys, dating tips for the ladies, all linked below. How to be a high quality and high caliber lady, how to level up your life, how to live your best life. It's all in the description box below. Check out the library. All right. I'll see you at the end of the week right here on YouTube. Have a great one.